Camera is rolling, yes. Good. Hello everybody, welcome. Yes, it's the 12th of December and I've been working here putting the handles on these this other shape of mug. So yeah, I thought we'd do a couple. These are now ready for handles. They are, yeah, nicely leather hard. So I've got some handles, a few handles I pulled there. Outside it is blowing and it's cold. Yes, so all right, let's do a couple of these. Just thumb them off. These are not trimmed at all. All right, so the point of attachment on these is going to be, you know, when you look at a mug or anything that you're going to put a handle on, you want to ask yourself, well, where's the handle going to go? So usually you could perhaps take a handle off the rim itself. I decided not in this case, but to put the point of attachment about there. So okie dokie, let's just going to scratch there with a wetted finger, create the slip right there on the side of the mug. Okay, take one of the handles. As usual, we're going to butt the end of it with the knuckle of my thumb, you see. For those of you who have trouble handling, you see what I've done there? And it's all done with that special tool. You see? The knuckle. just hold him and then just tap it like that, you see, and it'll. So what you've done is, you see, you've got that extra bit of clay there now all around, you see. So that's going to make it real easy to join that. Try doing that, will you, next time that you're handling? And tell me, write to me and tell me if you think it helps. Okay, so always another good idea, keep the mug down, preferably on a banding wheel. Apply the handle right up to that scratched keyed area, and then you see I simply then, with my index finger, you see that little bit of clay that I showed you before there, and then with my thumb on the top, across the top, like that. You see, that's it, simple. If you try that, you'll find it will work. But you'll have to practice it, you see. Okay, so then dip it in the water. Keep this right angle. You see the right angle here between the. Don't let the handle flop at this stage, because it will weaken. It'll weaken it right there. Okay, so now I'm giving it 3 or 4 pulls just to freshen up the handle. All right, and now just taking it by the end. Just let it. See, I'm supporting it here. Now let it come down until you feel you're happy with the size of the handle. This is not quite as large as a tankard handle. Now once you've got it attached, then what you want to do is you just go around it, just tidy it up, you see. Make sure he's straight, he's not going off left or right. And he's here, he's not bent either way. It's very easy to do that, okay? So now here, I just wipe my finger over there like that. Okay, now take my thumb and just smear that clay away. Once like that, and then like that. And this little tail, we just flick it off. Okay. And that's it. So there he is. Let's have a look at him. So what you want to do, what you want to aim for is a handle that looks kind of nicely balanced. He doesn't want to, I'm holding it a little bit back because when I get close to the lens here, this lens has a tendency to sort of alter shapes a little bit. But you don't want it to, I've got to allow a bit for shrinkage, you see. So, okay, I've got a rounder here, it barely fits in. I really could do with a different one actually. But I can tell by looking at it, he's fairly nice and round. I'll put my seal on the bottom and put him over here with the rest of the crowd. The rest of the crowd. What next? A sip of tea. Of course. Oh, it's getting hot, that tea on the stove there. Right. So again, here, if you do this properly, see, when you throw it and you put in that bevel I keep telling you about, you've got very little to thumb off. You can see there's a little bit of clay here. If I just lick my thumb and just go around it like that, you see. That's basically it. Nothing more to do. Okay, so point of attachment there. Dip the finger. So I've got my finger. I've just dipped it. Now let's see if we can just put that water there, you see? Put a little bit of water just there, and then with my finger I just scratch it a little bit like that. Kind of make the slip there, you see? Like that. Right, now take that. Take the handle. Now, that's how he looks like now, you see, just after I've pulled him. But now I'm going to hold him a little bit securely, but I'm holding him. And now I'm going to use my thumb here, my knuckle on my thumb, you see, to create that extra little bit of clay that's bent over now. All right. So now we're going to take it. We're going to offer it up here. I'm keeping it supported. Let me just bring this over so you can see. Alright. All I've done is just push that. I haven't smeared it or anything yet. But I'm going to do that. It's a bit difficult. This is why I say do it when it's down on the but I'm going to use an action, a kind of rolling action, using my index finger, and then my thumb across the top. But I'm going to put it down to do it. Otherwise, I'll get in a pickle, and it'll end up getting all bent out of shape. That's what happens, you see. If you try and do it waving it around in the air. Okay. So now dip it in the water pot. This is basically the same, what I'm doing here is the same for whether you're doing a tankard handle or a whatever. Keep this hanging at 90 degrees, all right? You're going to need to pull it a few times just to straighten the handle out, to soften it. Okay, and now take it by the end and let it is actually not behaving as I wanted it. A little bit. I'll tell you why. I know what happened with these handles. I put them up high on a shelf up there above the stove, and they got a little bit crusty on the outside. You have to watch for that. So that's not the right shape at the minute, you see. So I want to fill it out there, you see. You learn to alter your handles a bit. If it, you know, when you attach it, it isn't quite exactly as you want it, but you know what you do want. Then you're going to have to learn how to correct it, you see. Pottery is all about making corrections, isn't it? Yeah, corrections. Yeah, just tidy it. Don't over finger it and overwork it, but just, you know. All right, so there he is so far. So we make sure he's straight here, and he's also straightish as possible. All right, so now we're ready to do this bit. See if I can do this in front of you. So we're going to wipe it once over with a finger like that, because what that does is it wipes away some of the shiny wetness. So if you've got a shiny wet handle and you try and smear it away, you'll find that it won't smear very well because it's shiny. See, like this bit on the end here. So that's why we just wipe it once. It clears away that shininess. Now take your dampened thumb and you're just going to simply put it there, and you're just going to go, and it'll smear nicely, you see, like that. Do it one more time on the other side. There we go. All right, and now you're left with a little tail. Now, if you're going to put a scroll on the bottom of your handle, you would roll up that tail and form a scroll, you see. But these ones don't have a scroll. So just lift it a touch, and then like this. You've got to do a bit firm about this, and then got to flick him off. Flick him off. Yeah. Just again, don't overwork this down here, but try to get it so it's looking neat and fresh looking, you see. Because that's the naked clay that you've just... All right. La, la, la. So put a seal down the bottom of that, and that's it. Finito, finito. Yeah. I guess we'll finish there. Maybe we won't. Maybe we'll do just one more. It's nice to. It's important, I think, you see, to see things, especially repeated pots, to see them repeated. To see the potter just making them one after another, you see. Because you don't always see everything in just one pot, do you? Sometimes you have to see it quite a few times. Dee, 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 dee. Yeah, there's a lot of skill actually in putting on handles and appendages and such. It's not something that when you start, when you first do it, you sort of think, how on earth do they do that so neatly and everything? And there's a bit of handy craft work there, you see. I remember once when I first used to go visit my brother Johnny in at Muchelney Pottery in Somerset, England, and I was working at the factory at the time at Western Helicopters. I'd come over to watch him. He'd be you know, of an evening he'd be there working after supper sort of thing, out in the studio putting on handles or whatever, and I'd watch him. And I remember he was very, very quick and deft, you know, the way he did it. And at that time I was, I wasn't doing any pottery at that time. But that came a bit later. Yeah. So there's a lot to be learned. You see, I'm at now when I'm doing handles and I'm looking back over the way I do them, and then I remember back how Johnny used to put on handles. I think, well, actually, I'm doing it very, very similar to how he did it. Now I remember, you know, it's must be in the blood, I guess. Seal. So now's the time, okay, to, because you don't really want to have to pick the pot up again now and go over it, okay? You want to sort of have the satisfaction of knowing that it is finished, okay? There's nothing more to add. It's done. So just now is the time. If there are any nicks, nail marks, ugly what have yous on the pot, now's the time. Get rid of them. Seal it. And when you seal it, that's it. Put it on the board. Forget it. It's done. It's a done deal. Just put them on the board. Yeah. Okay, let's whip the camera off the tripod a minute. Let's go for a walkabout. Go for a walkabout. Yeah, there's some more here. These